You may or may not have seen this video of the Washington brothers in the Criterion Closet, and it's honestly been ingrained into my mind because I think it's such an interesting conversation that they're having in the closet, and I think they make some interesting picks. Let's go through a few of them, shall we? Both Washington brothers point out their love of Cassavetes and specifically talk about his movie Faces, which is currently streaming right now on Max. I watched this movie for the first time last year and immediately fell in love. Cassavetes and Gina Rollins were such an amazing pairing together, and I think that Faces is a fantastic movie. But I do also love that they point out John Cassavetes as a filmmaker because he's like the father of American independent cinema. And as we enter a new wave where funding is going to be less accessible for a lot of filmmakers, I think we kind of need to return to our roots and think about how to make great independent films. And speaking of independent American cinema, John David and Malcolm both do a really good job of pointing out some great Black American independent films like Ghost Dog, The Way of the Samurai, and Joy Longso, directed by Colleen Smith. I love both of these movies, and they're so different from each other, but are both extremely well made and honestly very underrated. But the biggest flex that Malcolm and John David get off in the Criterion Closet is when they picked Malcolm X, a movie that stars their father and was directed by one of their father's longtime collaborators, Spike Lee. I think they do a really good job of pointing out how much Spike Lee has been influenced by the French New Wave. I think a lot of filmmakers in his age counterpart, like Quentin Tarantino, have often discussed how they love the French New Wave, and their movies are credited as being inspirations of those films. But Spike Lee doesn't get involved in that conversation as much, and I think that's such a disappointment because it's so clear that he has such a respect for people like Agnes Varda and Jean-Luc Godard. And I think a movie like Malcolm X and Do the Right Thing, which are both in the Criterion Collection, do an excellent job of showcasing that. So I don't know about other people, but I do love these Criterion Closet pick videos. I loved this one with John David and Malcolm, as well as the recent ones with Pamela Anderson and Ayo Adebri. But I'd love to know from other people, do you like to watch these videos and read these lists too? And which are some of your favorite celebrity Criterion Closet pick vids? Let me know.